The victory for the Leave side sent shockwaves through global markets. Stocks plunged around the world, and those working in the financial world white-knuckled it through their day as currencies plummeted. Many say that's to be expected in the short term. But what impact will the Brexit have on the global economy in the long term? For this, we've reached renowned economist James Galbraith in Porto Ercole, Italy. So, James, what's your reaction to the Brexit vote?
Well, I think it's unfortunate. The immediate effect is likely to be relatively short-lived as you get the unwinding of financial positions and the reaction to the surprise of the vote. After that, though, an institutional process sets in, which begins a divorce of Britain from the European Union, of which it's been a part for over 40 years. So a great many things are going to have to be negotiated. Immediately, the British voice in the European Union goes away. They are basically going to have to withdraw members of parliament. They're going to have to withdraw from European committees. Judges will have to recuse themselves while the negotiations proceed. So this is going to have that effect on Britain's relationship with Europe. Ultimately, Britain will lose the interaction of funding that has been part of the relationship to the European Union for decades. And immediately, of course, and probably by later this fall, this will open the way to a very much more right-wing government in Britain. So you will have changes of British policy that will complicate the situation and will probably exacerbate the rise of inequality that was behind this vote in the first place.
And James, you write in an article, and this is, I'm going to quote you, you say the economic effect will leave Britain in the hands of simpletons who believe the deregulation is the universal source of growth. Those are strong words.
Well, that was very much a theme of the Leave campaign, of the political leaders who were speaking the following morning, that they felt that they were going to be liberated because they were going to be free from European regulations. Well, they won't be free from European regulations because they will be continuing to trade with Europe. But they also will not. There's no benefit in a modern society from believing that you can live without government regulations. They're what make modern markets work. And so the whole philosophy here, which goes back to the 19th or even the 18th century, is an illusion that people will discover very much to their regret that they've signed on to.
Now, you've spoken a lot about the impact in the UK. What about the impact in the EU, with Britain being the second biggest economy in the EU leaving? Well,
the political effects in the EU are going to be dramatic. Obviously, you've seen calls for similar referenda from the right-wing parties in Holland. The French this is going to greatly encourage the National Front Party of Marine Le Pen. And so you have a divergence in the political situation in Europe. With North Europe, this strengthens the extreme right. In Southern Europe, it will increase I think, the position of the left. And so you'll have a divergence between a pro-European left and an anti-European right, which is already present, but will certainly be exacerbated by this.
What about the economic uncertainty within the UK itself, with Scotland saying that they're very likely going to have another referendum on independence that could lead to Scotland joining the EU after the rest of the UK leaves?
Well, Scotland is a member of the EU now as a member of the United Kingdom, so it is simply a question of Scotland wishing to remain, and as it voted 63% to do. I think the economic relationships between England and Scotland can be worked out fairly readily. I don't see an enormous difficulty there. But it is obviously a dramatic event if the Union, which was created in 1707, is going to be dissolved after 310 years.
What do you think about the impact in North America of Britain doing this, and economically?
The main thing is that if there is a continuing financial fear as a result of this, it will lead to a flight to safety, and that flight to safety always raises the value of the U.S. dollar and drives U.S. interest rates down. So that is something which is going to have, it has adverse effects on American exporters, and it's something which is a feature of the world economy in times of great fear. As I say, I don't expect that to be a major consequence of this, but you predicting the psychology of financial traders, or for that matter, the occurrence of credit events which jeopardize the solvency of major financial institutions is not a game that I'm prepared to play with any great confidence.
What do you think should happen now? What's the best way forward here in terms of how the reaction to all of this should be from an economic perspective?
Well, I think the way forward is largely going to be determined by the decisions taken in Europe. This was brought on, let us be clear, by the high-handed incompetence and arrogance in many respects of the European leadership itself, including, by the way, it treated Greece last year. This is something which needs to be dealt with in order to give the European Union a reason to exist in the eyes of the European electorates. So what immediately needs to happen is a real assessment of the viability of the current European Commission, for example, of its leadership. A positive response to Brexit would involve a real house cleaning in Brussels and an attempt to reassess what the European Union is supposed to be for.
Sir, appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Economist James Galbraith is also the author of Welcome to the Poison Chalice, The Destruction of Greece and the Future of Europe. We reached him in Porto Ercole, Italy.